Right, WFI Detroit Sabbath service. We're going into World War III. Right, World War III is here, man. Right, it's that time, man. So Jake, it's time for you to buckle down and get your spirit right. Right, get Revelation 11 and 14. You'll kick it right off.
That's right.
Right, because you got a lot of stuff going on. We're going to go into the articles, go into the news, right, and make sure you're watching this thing, Israel. Right, bring it up.
The book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 14.
Right?
The second war is past.
What's the Lord say?
The second war is past.
Right? That's going into Hiroshima, Nagasaki, right? With what's his face, man? Hitler, right? Going into Hitler when Germany was acting out, man. And all the war and all the nations of the earth, they fought in World War II back in the 40s. Right, read?
And behold, the third war cometh quickly.
What the Lord say?
The third war cometh quickly.
And the third world war is coming quickly. Death and destruction is coming to Babylon the Great, man. Right? So at the kick of World War III, it's going to basically kick off a lot more prophecies, like the famine of the word, Jacob's trouble, being pilgrims in the earth. That all comes off with the start of World War III, man. Right? So World War III is imminent, man, and it's coming. So are you ready? Are you prepared? Have you been fasting? Have you been studying? If not, you got to double and triple up on your works, man, because it's that time.
Precept. Your second Ezra chapter 16, verse 18, man. Right? So this is serious business right here. This is life or death, man. This is your salvation on the line. So like the brother said, you got to examine yourself in these last days. That's in 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5. You have to understand we living in the midst of war, man. Right? And this war is going to intensify and intensify on the earth. And again, it's going to issue in more prophecies. The famine of the word, being pilgrims on the earth, persecution. Right? We're going to enter into the fifth seal. Right? And after that fifth seal, the sixth seal, which is nuclear missiles, man, raining upon the earth. So get 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 18.
This is the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 16, and verse 18.
Right?
The beginning of war of sorrows.
The Lord said the beginning of sorrows. A lot of people are going to fall for sorrow in these last days. They're going to be mourning, weeping, trying to deliver themselves from what's to come on the earth. Read on.
And great mournings.
And great mournings. Read on.
The beginning of famine and great death.
The beginning of famine and great death, man. Right? Because wars, we was talking about this the other day, wars, they start off kind of little, right? They start off like, it's like a chess game, right? Every player is moving their piece on the chessboard. Right? And then it intensify and it intensify. Right? Nuclear war is just not going to break out all of a sudden. Many wars have to happen, right, prior to that.
Slocking. That's what a world war is. It's different nations all up. Like during World War II, right? You had America and the Allies fighting Germany. America was fighting Japan with a couple allies, and it was just different wars. And that's what the Lord is setting up, right? Brothers forgot, hey, China want to invade Taiwan, huh? Right? Iran is beefing with Israel, right? And Russia is finna invade Ukraine. That's World War. That's the kings of the East. Right? That's the kings of the East. Once Russia makes its move, China and Iran, they're going to make their move, man. Right? It's no telling what's going on behind closed doors. They might be planning that thing out, man.
Yeah. And like the brother said, that's the kings of the East. That's in Revelation chapter 16, verse 12. Russia, China, and Iran.
Matter of fact, let's pull that.
Nah, bring it out.
Right? And I want to actually pull up a map of the Middle East, pull up the Euphrates River. Right? Let's just get a map just so we can see what's going on. Right? See if it'll show the whole, I want a bigger picture. Yeah, there you go. That's pretty mighty. All right. So bring it up.
Revelation 16 to 12?
Yeah, Revelation 16 to 12.
The book of Revelation, chapter 16, and verse 12.
Right?
And it reads, And the sixth angel poured out his veil
Right?
upon the great river Euphrates.
Right?
And the water thereof was dried up.
Right, so the river Euphrates is drying up as we speak. Right, so flip the camera. Right, get the camera, get at a good angle, and show them Euphrates. Right? Now, why is it drying up? Read on.
It's like, I believe it's a video on that.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can do it before and after picture on Google.
Yeah, but keep going. I wanted to show them the map real. We can show them the drawing, but it's important right here. So it says it's drying up. Read on.
And the waters thereof was dried up.
Right?
that the way of the kings of the east may be prepared.
Right, because look at the Euphrates. Look what it's blocking off. It's blocking off the kings of the east from coming over to the land of Jehoshaphat, which is by Israel, from coming over to the Middle East. So that has to dry up so they can easily take their tanks and military might over across that. Right, because that's where World War III is going to happen. Armageddon is the Greek way of saying Megiddo. Right, that's in Israel, man. Right? So this is where World War III is going to commence and take place. Right, all throughout the Middle East. But they have to have a way to get through there with their footmen and the tanks and all those kind of vehicles. Now the brothers, they got to, before and after they can pull up, going into the Euphrates, drying up. The kings of the east is Russia, Iran, and China. Right? Try to find a before and after, maybe. Like, check that out.
You got to go on Google, King. This one.
All right.
That particular one, that's cool, but you know, it's more.
That's crazy.
Right? Through the spirit, man. So the Euphrates is drying up. Right? And look, it just popped right up.
And this is Bible prophecy.
Damn, look at that. Should that?
Same thing.
Well, there you go.
Check that out.
So you
It's 2019. What's that date? March what? Look at that. Boy, oh boy.
so it's drying up.
Right, so that's the kings of that's the way of the kings of the east, man. So that way they're able to, be able to easily cross through, man. Right, with their soldiers. Right, you keep reading Revelation. That the way they read.
And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon,
Right?
and out of the mouth of the beast.
You see that? These unclean spirits, they bringing men to go to World War III. That's what these unclean spirits are doing, man. Right? Like frogs. Right? So we going into World War III, man. Right? And it's all prophesied in the Bible, and it's happening exactly as the Lord said it would happen. Right through the Spirit.
And go back to 2 Corinthians 16, right? Because this war is going to be fought nuclear, right? Wars in the days of old, it was fought by way of the gun, assault rifles, snipers, knives, bow and arrow, shield, buckler, so on and so forth, lancets. But this war is going to be with fire, okay? And give me that in Isaiah chapter 9, verse 5.
Want to get us in the 16 first?
You can go back, yeah. Get Isaiah 9 and 5, then go back to 2 Corinthians 16.
Right. Book of Isaiah.
So we're going to pull up some articles as well pertaining onto the matter. So bring it up, King.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 9, verse 5.
Right.
For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise.
With confused noise, guns, right? Sword fighting, right? Knives, lances, read on.
And garments rolled in blood.
And garments rolled in blood, because it was fought by way of guerrilla warfare. Read on.
But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire.
But this particular war, World War III, is going to be by way of burning and fuel of fire. And that's coming from the nuclear missiles. Right, dog? We trying to pull up nuclear missiles to give Israel a visual. Right? And also get second edges, it's like your 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 10. So you got these different missiles, man. So that's a picture of the missiles.
Tell them go up real.
Go back to that. Go up real fast. Look at those red. Look like an arrow, man. Right? The arrows of the instruments of death, as the Lord calls.
That's right, and that's spoken about in Psalms, the 7th chapter. Right, because when the prophets was describing nuclear war and these missiles, they had to describe it the best way they could, right? With things they saw every day, like arrows, swords, so on and so forth. Figs, all right, stars.
I got a video of y'all. Let me see that. I can send it to everybody church email.
You can do that, Ken.
It's sent.
Go to that precept.
2 Peter chapter 3 and verse. Let's start at verse 10.
Start at verse 10. Go on.
But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night.
As a thief in the night, man. Right? Meaning people, they're not looking forward to the day of the Lord. Right? They fast asleep. Right? They eating pork. They celebrating Valentine's Day. They killing their brother. They hating one another. All hell is breaking loose and they fast asleep. So they're not looking forward the Lord to come back and wreak havoc on this earth. Keep reading.
Will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt away, shall melt with fervent heat.
It say the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Now, what technology or weaponry can make the elements melt with fervent heat? That's talking about nuclear missiles, man. Right? Keep reading.
With fervent heat, and the earth also, and the works that are therein shall be burnt up.
Shall be what?
Shall be burnt up.
Shall be burnt up. It say the earth and the works therein. Check this out, Ken. So you got certain missile launches that they perform.
I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eye shall not spare children. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and the houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces. I will stir up the
See
Medes.
that? So that's mighty right there. And Jake, you don't want to feel that, man. You don't want to feel that destruction. Because it's going to be a bitter destruction. Okay? And go back to 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter.
2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 11. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved,
Shall be dissolved, right? Shall be consumed, shall be melted. Read on.
what manner of persons ought ye to be?
So how are you to conduct yourself in these last days is what the Lord is asking. Read on.
In all holy conversation and godliness.
Right, so you must be in all holy conversation and godliness, keeping the commandments of the Lord, right? Keeping the feast days, right? Keeping your spirit in order, building up your households, right? Stand diligent within these last days, man. Because this is coming on the earth. It's inevitable. Right? Now give me 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 9. Men are going to get melted off the face of the earth.
That's right.
The book of 2 Ezra chapter 16 and verse 9.
Hey Jake, you never heard that before. You never heard anybody say, I'm gonna melt you. Right? Yeah, you meet a lot of so-called tough people in this world, so-called. They might say, oh, put up your dukes, I rock your world, whatever. But you'll never hear somebody say, I will melt you. So the Most High's on another level, man.
Precept. Let me bring this out. Then you get that on. Yeah, you're walking on. So this is Exodus chapter 15, verse 15. Then the dukes of Edom shall be amazed, the mighty men of Moab. Trembling shall take hold upon them. All the inhabitants of Canaan shall melt away. See that? So they're going to melt away, man, by way of these thermonuclear missiles, man.
Precept 2.
Right? Bring it out, Ken.
Jeremiah chapter 9 verse 7. And it reads, Therefore thus said the Lord of hosts, Behold, I will melt them.
I will do what?
I will melt them.
So the Lord said, I will melt them. Read on.
And try them. For how shall I do for the daughter of my people?
It's another one. Give me Psalms 112 and 10.
Yeah, that's the one I was.
Psalms chapter 112 and 10. So we reading about men getting melted off the face of the earth, death and destruction, and all kind of chaos. Bring it out.
You said Psalms what?
Psalms 112 and 10.
The book of Psalms chapter 112 verse 10.
Right?
The wicked shall see it and be grieved.
And be what?
And be
So
grieved.
when they see them nuclear missiles hit the atmosphere, they're going to be grieved in their heart. Right? Read on.
He shall gnash it with his teeth and melt away.
It shall do what?
And melt away.
And melt away. Read on.
The desire of the wicked shall perish.
That's playing upon tables. They're going to gnash with their teeth. The Lord says it's going to be weeping and gnashing the teeth. They're going to gnash with their teeth.
And grinding.
And then grinding with their teeth and then melting away. And their flesh being consumed off their bones, man. Right?
Zechariah 14:12.
That's right, Zechariah 14 and 12. Bring that up. That's the classic precept.
Zechariah, the book of Zechariah, chapter 14 and verse 12.
Right?
And it reads, and this shall be the plague wherein the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem.
Right? All the people that have enslaved God's chosen people. Because that's really what it comes down to. The judgment upon the nations for enslaving the chosen people of the Lord. Right? Whether it was Esau, Moab, Ammon, Ham, Elam, Ishmael, all these nations are going to go to war with each other and take each other out in World War III. And this is due to them enslaving God's chosen people and being wicked on the earth. Right? Bring it out, King.
Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth.
Pull up that video real quick. Terminator 2, Sarah O'Connor. Right?
Classic.
This is the classic right here. Right? So, in this scene is portraying Zechariah chapter 14 and verse 12. There you go, right there. Judgment Day. And the director, he actually had a dream about this. And that's what inspired him to create this scene.
That's kind of like, I ain't know that.
Skynet situation.
Yeah, the sound. The sound.
Everybody playing, having fun.
Got kids out there making
One
merry.
Jake. What is it? Guys, you have one Jake in there.
Hey.
Everybody down turned up. Judge. That's a little heat right there. That's fervent heat. It's like a microwave. And that's a destroying wind. Yeah, Jeremiah 51 and 1 too. See that?
That's scary, man.
And that's Zechariah 14 and 12. Let me read it again. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. She was still standing upon her feet, kind of gripping the gate while her flesh was consuming away. Their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. Right? Now bring out that precept I asked for.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 1.
Right?
Thus said the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me a destroying wind.
A what?
A destroying wind.
Man, that was a destroying wind, man. You seen that damn wind of heat kind of damn swoop through the city of New York, right? Knocking down buildings, flipping cars, and that's all heat right there, man. Right? So you get caught up in there, you're going to melt away. It's inevitable. Okay? There's no surviving that. Now you can say, look, I'm going to go in my underground bunker. That's not going to save you, man. Because even after you get out of them bunkers, there's no living. You can't damn live. It's radiation everywhere, right? What they call it, the vegetation and the irrigation is destroyed.
Yeah.
So it's no living after a nuclear attack.
And even in the mild radius, they still can feel the effects of the heat and you said the radiation.
Yeah.
Which can kill you, make you sick, make your hair fall off.
You gotta
You'd rather be dead.
Poison you.
It's like, yeah, you gotta look into
Hiroshima.
Hiroshima. It describes a lot of these things, and that was in the 40s.
And them people still having effects due to that radiation. In Hiroshima and Nagasaki, those children, they still got those birth defects due to that.
Hey, I had to do an article on them, and they said that light was so bright that like they could literally see through their skin. Like that's how bright it was. And not only that, what else I'm trying to thought.
Y'all got precepts.
Bring out Jeremiah 15:7 real quick.
World War II birth effects.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They have scientists that come over there and they gotta test the waters with the whatever devices to see how toxic it is, right? And it get jammed up.
Right.
The water is still toxic to this very day.
Yeah.
Right? They kind of test the lands, and you can't grow seeds, you can't grow grass. You're finished.
Similar to Sodom and Gomorrah, that pit of salt.
I watched this thing.
Nothing grows over there.
I watched this thing on Discovery Channel. They got this whole entire island with nothing nuclear waste here. It's a whole entire island. They got nothing nuclear waste.
Wow. See that?
Nothing but nuclear waste. They wouldn't let people go over there. Then you go over there, you go.
Yeah, you gonna get sick.
I watched on Discovery
I
Channel.
want to look at the birth effects of World War II.
You trying to get Jeremiah 15:7, King?
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 15, verse 7. I will fan them with a fan in the gates of the land. I will berate them of children. I will destroy my people since they return not from their
Right.
ways.
Right? We understand, this this happened to us, but in the spiritual level, it's gonna happen to them. All right, and the Lord's not talking about He's gonna fan you like it's a hot day, it's 80 degrees, and you can't hide. The Lord's gonna come down on you. Good. No, it's talking about destruction. That's that wind.
He's going to judge you.
That's
Even-
right.
Even with a heater, it's a fan that pushes off the heat from the heat that get hot. It's still,
That's right. This second, this Revelation chapter 7, verse 1. And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. It's not talking about a cool breeze, it's speaking about destruction. Right? Those angels, they're holding it back like a pit bull.
And these are death angels, man.
And as the days approach, they slowly let him loose.
As the
right?
elect is awoken.
That's right, they let him loose their grip, where the winds is slowly destroying these trees which are men, the waters which are nations, and the earth itself.
And yeah, Salaki, these are death angels, also spoken about in Revelation chapter 16, verse 1. Right? Those death angels having the 7 vials, pouring out the vials, which is the destruction. You got a precept about you?
God, get the book of Jeremiah chapter 50. Right, chapter 50 and verse 9. Right, going into these nations, they're going to nuke America. This is the climax of World War III. Right, we're reading about Versaki. We're seeing the start of World War III, because if Russia invades Ukraine, all hell gonna break loose. So bring that up.
the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50 and verse 9.
Right?
For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon
Right?
an assembly of great nations from the north country.
Right, so it's going to be an assembly of great nations to rise up against Babylon. Right, many nations are going to attack Babylon. Right, read.
And they shall set themselves in array against her.
Right,
From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man.
right, and these arrows is talking about the nukes, man. These arrows is talking about nuclear fire. So the nations are going to be set against Babylon and shoot nuclear fire into them, man. Right, reading on.
So like I got a quick point too. They got those missile indicators. They know exactly where they're gonna hit.
He's seeking missiles, man.
You know,
Yeah.
Kind of bring that up.
of a mighty expert man, and none shall return in vain.
Right, and none of the arrows are going to return in vain. Each arrow, like you said, they know exactly where they're going. It's going to destroy Texas. It's going to destroy New York. It's going to destroy all the major cities, just bombing and destroying Babylon the Great. Right, now jump to verse number 25.
Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 25.
Right?
The Lord hath opened his armory,
Right, so the Lord has an armory, man. Right, read.
and hath brought forth the weapons of his indignation.
Right?
For this is the work of the Lord
It
God
says
of
for
hosts.
what?
For
This is the work of the Lord.
God of hosts.
Right, this is the work of the Lord God of hosts. Right, read.
In the land of the Chaldeans.
Right, you see that his work is to destroy Babylon the Great. Right, that's what it's talking about, right? Read.
come against her from the uttermost border.
Right, the uttermost border, read.
Open her storehouses.
Right,
Cast her up as heaps.
right.
Destroy her utterly.
And do what?
Destroy her utterly.
Read.
Let nothing of her be left.
Right, that's the work of the Lord. Now get Isaiah 54, verse 16. Hey, that's the work, man, for the Lord to utterly destroy Babylon. Right? That's why it says it's time for the Lord to work, man.
Yep. Psalms 119, 126.
Right? So this is the Lord's work right here, man. Bring it up. The Lord puts in work, man.
God.
Bring it up.
Yeah, the Lord puts in work. He's not a sloth, man. Right? Because Jacob's a sloth, man. Right? But the Lord is about work. So if the creator of the heavens and the earth is about work, you should be about work, man. You should be about labor. Right? So bring it out, King.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 54 and verse 15.
Right?
Behold, they shall surely gather together.
16.
16.
Oh, sorry, 16.
Right?
Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire.
Right. And that's talking about these modern day scientists. The Lord created these men and put it in their spirit to be able to come up with these concoctions to do his work, which is to destroy Babylon.
That's right.
Read?
And that bringeth forth an instrument for his work.
For his work, which we just read, was to destroy Babylon. Read?
I have created this waster to destroy.
He called it the waster, man. To destroy into Babylon and make nothing left of it. Let me get one more. Get Revelation 17, verse 16.
And that's talking about nuclear weapons, man.
So the Lord created nuclear bombs, right? Right, to destroy men on the earth. Bring it up.
I got one right after you too, so. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 18.
Verse 16.
Verse 16.
Right?
And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast,
Right, that's talking about NATO, right? Read?
these shall hate the whore.
They shall what?
These shall hate the
They
whore.
gonna hate America. Right now you got France and Germany, they trying to damn save their life, man. Telling Russia, look, man, we don't want no parts, man. Right, they gonna end up damn vetoing damn America out of NATO, right? Because they basically like that, it's like traveling with a bold fellow, man. It's like that one brother you always go out with, you always get into a fight, and he started, man. And that's America, man. You don't want to be with that guy. So they gonna,
Always in something, man.
right? Always into something. And you got to deal with it now. Right? Now, his beefs is your beefs. Right? Right? He just a bold fellow, right, Rick?
This is like I was looking up last night. They giving Americans that's over there in Ukraine 24 to 48 hours.
Cold black.
Now, we gonna bring all that out. We gonna bring all that
Cold
out.
black.
Right? Bring it out.
And shall make her desolate and naked.
Right?
And shall eat her flesh.
Read.
And burn her with fire.
And do what?
And burn her with fire.
Right? That's that assembly of great nations. Burning America with fire, man.
Precept.
Nuclear fire. Right? Bring it out.
Get Daniel chapter 7, verse 11, man.
Bring it out. Verse 11.
Daniel chapter 7, verse 11. I beheld then because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake.
And that horn in Daniel the 7th chapter is talking about America. Okay, read on.
I beheld even to the beast was slain and his body destroyed and given to the burning flame.
And given to the what?
And given to the burning flame.
And given to the burning flame. So America is going to be given over to the burning flame. Also get Isaiah chapter 28, verse 21. Okay. So, hey, man, we excited, man. Right? Hey, we living in some exciting times, man. And what a time to be alive, to see the destruction of your enemies. All right, bring it out. Isaiah 28 and 21. Going back to the point Kabash was making, this is the work of the Lord. Bring it out.
Isaiah 28 and 21. For the Lord shall rise up as in mountain, Perazim. He shall be wroth as in the valley of Gibeon.
And that word wroth means upset, mad, angered, furious indignation. Right, read on.
That he may do his work.
His what?
That he may do his work. His strange work. And bring to pass his act. His strange act.
And what's that strange act? Nuclear war, man. That's strange to people, man. They never seen nuclear war. Right? They never had to damn hide in the underground bunker, fearing the damn nuclear wind and the radiation thereof. So this is a strange act unto man.
Now therefore, Be not mockers, let your hand be made strong.
Right? Don't be a mocker. Don't be a fool in these last days. Repent and keep the commandments. Read on.
For I have heard from the Lord Yahweh of hosts a consumption, even determined upon the whole earth.
What the scripture say?
Even determined upon the whole earth.
World War III is determined upon the whole earth.
Got precept on you.
Come on. Now give me Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 22.
Jeremiah 50 and 22.
Come. Right?
Book of Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 22, and it reads, a sound of battle is in the land, and of great destruction.
So that's the sound, and that's the spirit that's going on the earth. A sound of battle. Right? And we just brought that out of Revelation, the 16th chapter. That's the three frogs. Right? So that sound, that spirit is on the earth right now of war. Right? If you're worrying about the damn All-Star weekend, your mind is not right. The Super Bowl.
Yeah, Super Bowl.
Right? The scriptures say where your heart is, there will your treasure be also. So your heart has to be meditating on the precepts and understanding that this place is about to be destroyed by the Lord, man.
What manner of conversation ought ye to be?
That's right. Verse 23.
Verse 23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken?
And what's the hammer of the old earth, man? America. Babylon the Great. Read on.
How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations?
Among the what?
Among the nations.
So Babylon is going to be a desolation among the nations, meaning utterly destroyed and taken out. Right? We're going to get that in Isaiah the 34th chapter. Right? This land is not going to be inhabited anymore, man. It's going to be a heaping desert. It's going to be owls here, cormorants, foxes, doleful creatures, man. With that, I yield.
Go to Isaiah. I got two quick things. Go to Isaiah. It's like Ezekiel 7 and 7. And the Woo Baba Kashar, can you go on the Cold Cut channel and type in "What if we nuke a city"? Remember this.
Ezekiel chapter 7 verse 7.
There we go.
The morning is come unto thee, O thou that dwellest in the land.
Right?
The time is come. The day of trouble is near, and not the sounding again of the mountains.
What else is it?
Now will I surely pour out my fury
It's
upon
like I wanted you to start at verse 6. That's what I wanted.
Verse 6. Ezekiel 7 and 6. An end is come.
An end is come, right? If you ever seen those old movies where you got the old homeless man with the end is near, the end is near. And the end is come. They got it from the scriptures. Go ahead.
The end is come. It watches for thee. Behold, it is come.
Now you got the video, King? You can jump to 11 minutes and 44 seconds. It's like you jump to 8 minutes.
Perspective, it's not the best way of understanding the...
So let's dive into it.
Playing around with nuclear weapons in videos is fun. There's a visceral joy in blowing things up and a horrifying fascination with things like fireballs, shockwaves, and radiation. And while it does help put our destructive power in perspective, it's not the best way of understanding the real impact of a nuclear explosion. This isn't about silly stacks of TNT or about how bright an explosion is. Nuclear weapons are about you. So we've partnered with the Red Cross and Red Crescent movement to explore what would really happen if a nuclear weapon were detonated in a major city today.
Right, what's going to happen?
Not nuclear war, just...
A lot of people think, oh, it's just burning and fire and that's it. No, it's a lot deeper, man. It's a whole lot deeper. The same way Jacob Trouble is a whole lot deeper. People just think it's going to be robbery and murder. It's going to be a domino effect. It's going to affect everything. You got it, King.
one explosion.
I mean, nah, that's the whole video. I won't watch the whole thing. It's like, yeah.
There's another one too, that we did a while ago.
All right, yeah, you can go to the original video. I kind of got it slanted under the joint. The man's going. The Drake slang. All right, there we go. That's better. The water.
I think we should explore a few solutions.
Grandma's suggestions catch when you're tongue.
playing around with nuclear weapons in...
Esau said it's fun. Playing with nuclear,
Yeah.
watching death and
He's a
destruction.
madman.
It's a double, man.
It's fun. What?
He did say that. That's crazy.
videos is fun. There's a visceral joy in blowing things up and a horrifying fascination with things like fireballs, shockwaves, and radiation. And while it does help put our destructive power in perspective, it's not the best way of understanding the real impact of a nuclear explosion. This isn't about silly stacks of TNT or about how bright an explosion is. Nuclear weapons are about you. So we've partnered with the Red Cross and Red Crescent movement to explore what would really happen if a nuclear weapon were detonated in a major city today. Not nuclear war, just one explosion. We begin our story in the middle of downtown in a major city. People are going to work, studying for exams, are lost in their thoughts and daily lives.
See, that's true.
Right here, a nuclear weapon is detonated and time freezes. The first phase of the explosion happens within less than a second. In a millisecond, a ball of plasma hotter than the sun appears and grows in a fireball to more than 2 kilometers across. Within this ball, everyone is just gone. Think of water dripped onto a very hot pan. A sizzle, and then there's nothing. Most buildings, cars, trees, tacky
Pause it real
sculptures,
fast.
and
When you look up, like I said, I advise brothers to watch documentaries on World War II or Hiroshima. It'll tell you that it was nothing left but their shadow. Like on steps, you're to see somebody's shadow engraved into it. Because they nailed it just like this, man.
And that was just an atomic bomb.
Shadow?
Yeah, an atomic bomb.
Yeah, that's lower than a nuclear bomb.
And that was in the 40s.
The shadow? Yes.
Their shadow was left in the imprint. Let's try to pull that up.
We gotta
Try to go to Google.
We gotta pull up a picture. You said what?
Shadow of dust.
Like so,
Oh, so it left their shadow.
Yeah,
That was
look
one.
up Hiroshima shadow left or something like
whole
that.
paper on that, man. It's nuts.
Hiroshima bomb. Yeah, shadow burn. Let's see.
That's crazy.
See if check that out.
Wow.
Check that out. Nothing left but they shadow, man.
Shadow burn.
The shadow got burnt into the ground, man.
That's kind of deep right there. They the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
Because shadow is just light. That's like
Yeah.
Look at that. See that? Somebody's shadow, man.
See, wrap your head around that.
Because all they did was melt and burn away.
See how he said they're gone.
Yeah, he said they're just
He
gone.
said they're just gone.
Damn.
He said, look.
And how far is 2 kilometers? Look up 2 kilometers.
That's in miles.
It's like
that's like 3.
type in 2 kilometers to miles.
Kilo is 100. I think it's 200.
How big?
Kilo is
1 mile.
1 mile, like a mile and a half, is about a mile and a quarter. Right, 2 across, bam, right in the center.
That's just the second phase.
Yeah, that's the first phase.
Oh, yeah, the
He
first
said it
phase.
happens in less than a second, or in the 1 second.
So if you within that mile,
Millisecond.
you within that mile, you're done.
Yeah, you're done.
Ain't no helping you.
Ain't no funeral, man.
Your shadow gonna be etched into the
And
damn
you're not
ground.
gonna call 911. Somebody come get me, I need an ambulance.
That's madness. Alright, you can go back to that. That's mighty, man.
Go back to that. Shemai.
Shamar. This is mighty.
and people, all evaporated. First, the flash, an intense
And that's
tsunami of
the
light,
elements.
washes
Melted, evaporate.
That's going into the elements melt with fervent heat, because it was like the sculptures, the buildings, everything all evaporated. That's the elements melting with fervent heat.
Within a mile of radius. Or they said 2 miles, about 3 miles across death and destruction. Bring it up.
over the city in an instant. If you happen to have your head pointed in the direction of the explosion, it renders you blind for a few hours. The heat of this light produces a thermal pulse, so energetic and hot that it just burns everything as far as 13 kilometers from the detonation site.
Now that's a couple
What this means is that everything in an area of 500 square kilometers that is able to burn starts
That's just
burning.
one missile.
You see that? That's one
wood,
missile. 500 kilometers
and
across.
skin. If you happen to be in reach of the thermal pulse, one moment you're on your way to work, the next moment you're on fire. Now the second phase begins. It happens in a few seconds. Most people will now first notice that something is wrong, but it's already too late for hundreds of thousands. The flash is followed by the shockwave. The heat and radiation of the fireball create a bubble of superheated and supercompressed air around it that's now expanding explosively, faster than the speed of sound, creating winds stronger than hurricanes and tornadoes.
Destroying wind.
Human infrastructure is no match for its power. Most major buildings within a kilometre of the fireball are just ground up down to their base. Only steel-reinforced concrete is able to partially resist the pressure. In the surrounding parks where retirees feed the ducks, trees blackened and smouldering from the heat a second before snap like toothpicks. If you're outside, you get tossed away like a grain of dust in a tornado. The shock wave weakens as it travels outwards, but still, about 175 square kilometers of houses collapsed like they're made of cards, trapping tens of thousands of people who didn't have any time to react. Gas stations explode and fires spread throughout the rubble.
Pause this real quick. I got a preset.
I'm getting real specific.
I got a preset real fast.
Gas stations exploding.
Right, in Matthew 24. Right? Because he literally just said, like, it's going to happen, and nobody going to have time to react. So this Matthew 24, verse 38. Matthew 24 and 38. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day Noah entered into the ark and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall the coming of the Son of Man be. Right? So it's just instant. And this is one bomb. We talking about multiple arrows hitting Babylon the Great.
Millions of missiles, right?
That's bad.
Thousands of missiles.
They say in Revelation.
Right?
See that?
So this is like the brother. I mean, wrap your head around. This is one missile doing all this destruction. Imagine hundreds of thousands, millions of missiles, man.
And it's not like the Satan 1 and Satan 2 that Russia got.
Right, that can blow a city the size of Texas.
Yeah.
Right, the Satan 1 and Satan 2. It's more powerful nukes, man. Right, this is an average nuke hitting a city, what had happened. But hey, this stuff, there's levels to that, man. So he getting real specific in explaining just within seconds, people are already melted, their shadows etched into the ground, and then the shockwave kind of knocking out everything else, man.
Spirit.
It's mighty.
You got it, brother.
Got a precept.
No, I just had a point, like, it ain't even just about the nuke alone, that react everything else. Like you said, gas stations, propane tanks,
cars.
So even if you don't get caught in the midst of that beginning wave, anything out there that's gonna blow you up anyway. So you really don't stand a chance.
That's what it come down to.
It's after effects to the nuke. I think he go.
Yeah, that's radiation and stuff like Hiroshima that you was talking about. You can't even breathe in that.
It's
It
no
deteriorates your
surviving.
lungs and you die.
There's no
You don't
surviving.
stand a chance at all. And it's more than one of them. So
Right.
Dumb.
And then you get damn blind if you look at the light.
man,
It's hotter than the sun. It's center hotter than the sun, so called.
they just say that because it's fire and heat ain't nothing hotter than that.
You got it.
Hotter than the
I
sun.
mean, it's the most high weapon.
Could be witchcraft.
It is the most highest weapon. Right, bring it out, though.
The remains of the fireball, dust and ash rises kilometers into the sky in the next few minutes and casts a dark shadow over the ruined city. This violently pulls in fresh air surrounding the city,
That's a
destroying...
mushroom cloud right there.
The scroll.
Yeah, get that at Isaiah 34 and 4.
Get that.
That's a mushroom right there.
Destroying more buildings.
It's the book of Isaiah.
Destroy more buildings from the darkness. It said to bring in. We gotta rewind it for a
The
second.
book of Isaiah chapter 34 and verse
It's
4.
getting creepy, man. Bring it up.
And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll.
See that? So the heavens is being rolled together as a scroll, which is that mushroom cloud. Right?
It's like an ancient scroll.
Bring it up.
And all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree.
Hey, like he said, it's like he said, they're going to snap like twigs.
Yeah, he said that. That's the
He said
spirit.
like a toothpick.
Yeah, like toothpick.
Count, I got a precept.
That's mighty.
The book of Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 5.
It's like, and this was coming to the wicked, man. Right, so it's not time to be slothful and lukewarm. Eve want to still buck up against her husband. Jake want to still smoke weed secretly. It's not time for that, man. You gonna get caught in this, man. You go melt, man. And your shadow gonna be left. Right, bring it up.
No burial.
Isaiah 13:5. They shall come from a far country, from the end of the heaven, even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation, to destroy the whole land. Right, you jump down to 9 like the brother just said. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it.
Hey, that's cruel, man. This is cruel, but righteous.
That's mighty. So bring that up. Or you guys have a point?
Nah, let's keep going.
Yeah, keep watching this mighty right here.
Rises kilometers into the sky in the next few minutes and casts a dark shadow over the ruined city. This violently pulls in fresh air surrounding the city, destroying more buildings and providing an abundance of oxygen. It depends on the city what happens next. If there's enough fuel, fires may turn into a firestorm that burns the rubble, everybody trapped in it, and people trying to flee the devastation. Up to 21 kilometers from the explosion, people just like you rush to their windows to take pictures of the mushroom cloud, unaware that the shockwave is still coming at them, about to shatter their windows and create a blizzard of sharp glass. The third phase begins in the coming hours and days. We're used to the idea that help will come, no matter the disaster. This time is different. A nuclear explosion is like every natural disaster at once. There are hundreds of thousands or millions of people with serious injuries, lacerations, broken bones, serious burns. In the next few minutes and hours, thousands more will die because of these injuries. Countless people are trapped in collapsed buildings like in earthquakes, or blinded by the flash, deaf from the blast wave, and unable to flee through streets impassable with rubble and debris.
Hold on, real quick. It ain't gonna be no survivors, man. There ain't nobody trying to crawl through the debris and trying to get up out of there. Everybody's gonna be dead. So Esau trying to throw in a little bit of hope, right? It's not gonna happen, man. Everybody's gonna be dead, man.
Just say lay desolate.
You know?
And anybody who does survive, guess what? They go into slavery.
Yeah.
Check that lot out.
You know, you gonna have Edomites in their underground bunkers, right? But hey, man, the men of the Lord, we're gonna go hunt them out, man. That's in Jeremiah
no escaping.
16.
Keep getting in this. This is
Terrified, confused, and don't know what's happened to them or why. Most likely many...
We know why it happened. Right? Y'all wicked as hell, man.
Homosexuals, adulterers.
Right? Classics, man.
Hospitals have been leveled along with all the other buildings, and most medical professionals are either dead or injured along with everyone else. The survivors lucky enough to have been in metro tunnels or standing in the right place to be unburned and unhurt won't have truly escaped harm yet. Depending on the type of weapon, where it explodes, and even the weather, an awful black rain can begin, with radioactive ash and dust descending on the city, covering everything and everyone. The invisible, malicious, silent horror of radiation takes its turn. Every breath carries poison to the lungs of the survivors. Over the coming days, the people who receive the highest doses of radiation exposure will die. There will be no...
Stop this real quick. Get Revelation chapter 8, verse 5.
See that?
I gotta bring this up.
Judgment of the Lord, man. So people who just so happen to survive, they blind, they doing this, next thing you know, it start black raining, man. Madness, man. It's gonna get bad.
Revelation 8 and what?
Let's see mass mandates in that day, man. Right? Bring it out.
Revelation 8 and what? Trying to take pictures. That's what they're trying to take pictures. They're gonna be trying to take the family for the ground. So
Get Revelation chapter 8, verse 5.
No, the book of Revelation chapter 8 verse 5. And the angel took the censer and filled it with fire of the altar and cast it into the earth.
Right?
And there were voices and thunderings and lightnings and an earthquake.
Get verse 7.
Verse 7. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood.
And that's talking about nuclear missiles hitting the earth. Hell, fire mingled with blood. Read on.
And they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of trees was burnt up.
And the trees represents man. That's in Mark chapter 8, verse 24, Psalms 37 and 2, Psalms 1 and 2. The trees are men. Read on.
And all green grass was burnt up.
And all men were burnt up off the earth. Read on.
And the second angel sounded as it were a great mountain.
Give verse 11.
With fire. Verse 11. And the name of the star is called wormwood.
Right, so the name of the missile is called wormwood. Right, and wormwood is bitter, man. Okay, read on.
And the third part of the waters became wormwood.
Right, meaning the nations was burnt up by way of this nuclear missile. Read on.
And many men died of the waters.
And many men died of the waters. Give me
because they were bitter.
Because they were what?
Because they was made bitter.
Now give me Jeremiah 9:15, man. Because that's going into the radiation as well. Right? Because again, you got the damn nuclear radiation rain, damn dropping down on people, their lungs all jammed up, their organs failing, man.
I say with every breath, it's a poisonous breath, man, they take.
Imagine,
dying with each breath.
Imagine the smell of it.
Yeah. And that happened during 9/11 too, man. The damn smoke from the buildings got in people's lungs, man.
God.
So people still dropping dead from 9/11. So how much more nuclear attack? Okay, bring it up.
This is
Jeremiah chapter 9 verse 15.
Yep.
Therefore thus said the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will feed them, even this people, with wormwood.
Right? So wormwood is poison, it's bitter. Read on.
And give them water of gall to drink.
Again, Lamentations chapter 3 verse 15. So the destruction from these missiles is going to be a bitter destruction. And men are going to be poisoned by way of the radiation. Right?
Lamentation chapter 3 verse 15. He hath filled me with bitterness. He hath made me drunk with wormwood.
Right, so again, wormwood is bitter, man. And that's going into the radiation and men being poisoned by way of these nuclear missiles. Even if you so-called survive the attack, because you're going to have people survive, they're going to be in underground bunkers and things of that nature. Even when you go up into the atmosphere, you're going to get poisoned by the radiation. So there's no way of escaping the judgment of the Lord and the wrath of the Lamb.
Man. So we got some articles we want to get into. But actually, keep watching this real fast. I want to see.
Help, not for hours or maybe even days. Civilization doesn't operate when there is a total breakdown of infrastructure. Roads are blocked, train tracks warped, runways cluttered with rubble. No water, no electricity, no communication, no stores to replenish supplies from. Help from surrounding cities will have a hard time entering the disaster zone, and even if they can, the radioactive contamination will make it risky to get too close.
See that?
After a nuclear attack, you're on your own.
City. Right, so there's gonna be no help because everything else will get destroyed. Right, so it's pretty much over with, man.
Hey, go back to what he said. He said after this, you basically on your own. He said that.
Yeah, I want to say that. Yeah, I want to hear that.
No stores to replenish supplies from. Help from surrounding cities will have a hard time entering the disaster zone, and even if they can, the radioactive contamination will make it risky to get too close. After a nuclear attack, you're on your own. So, bit by bit, people emerge from the rubble, on foot, contaminated with radioactive fallout, carrying what little they may have left. They are slow, in pain, traumatized, and they all need food, water, and medical treatment fast.
It's like a real quick, I got a quick precepts. Psalms 91:7.
That's bad.
Quick precept, King.
That's bad. So I want to get into a couple articles.
One day. Psalms 91.
Psalms chapter 91 verse 7.
I want to get to a few articles.
And it reads, 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand.
Shemai, what it say?
1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right
There's
hand.
gonna be 10,000 of people falling in the city. Women, children, old men, old women.
Infant sucklings.
See that? 1,000. So that's true. It's like that verse isn't far from fiction. That's true, right? We're seeing it. All right, our varieties that we'll be able to see with our own fleshly eyes from afar.
They say the sun shall not smite thee by day.
I think that's covered.
Come on, bring that part out. Because the sun, right, that's going into the destruction, man.
Yeah, let me start verse 5.
Come on.
Psalms 91 and 5. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night.
For the terror by night, Jacob's trouble,
Nor
things
for,
in the dark places. Read on.
nor for the arrow that flieth by day.
Hey, the arrow that flieth by day, the nuclear missiles. Read on.
Nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness.
Read on.
nor for the destruction that wasted at noonday.
The destruction that wasteth at noonday. That's talking about the nuclear destruction, right?
Yes,
That's going into
second.
that's the heat of the prophecy right there. This nuclear war, man, and that's what the noonday represents. Pretty much the heat of the prophecies. All right, but keep going on to that, King.
Well, I had a
A
precept.
1,000 shall fall by thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee.
You can rest on that.
If you're keeping the commandments.
Right, it's second Ezra 16 and 27. Right, going into the aftermath of this, man.
Right.
Of nuclear destruction.
And hold on now. This is one missile. I'm gonna keep bringing that out, man. This is only one missile.
Sorry, shit.
And even the biggest one.
It's crazy, man. Bring it up. That's destroy your whole city in seconds, man.
It says 2 Ezra 16 and
27.
27. And that, so that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice.
Right,
For of a city there shall be 10 left,
right.
and 2 of the field, which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the cliffs of the rock.
You see that? So this ain't gonna be nobody left in that day, man. So much that you're gonna desire to hear a man's voice. Right? Go to the email real fast.
It's a lot of people too. This ain't going into the news, but it's really going to, like, when it happened, right? This is 2 Ezra 13 and 11, right? It's going to take how the shot goes up, right? But it says, and they were all mixed together to blast of fire, the flaming breath and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which prepared to fight, and burned them up, every one. So that upon the sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and
Smell of smoke. That's right.
Yep, that's second Ezra 13.
Second Ezra 13 and 11. And simultaneously, while these missiles dropping, Yahweh Shah is going to come back and scoop up the elect, man, and save us from the power of the flame.
God, through the
About that in
Spirit.
Matthew 24.
So it's that too. That's more fire that's coming on America. The chariots, man.
Scroll up. Alright, so we in this article where it says Russia can't go all in. Alright, scroll down. See if this is what I wanted.
Here's one that's it.
What's the other one?
There's just one point I wanted. Scroll.
It's
Sorry, I can't see.
Move the what's it called?
Oh, yeah. Move the projector over, okay? Projector up. Move it on the screen.
Move it closer if you want.
Alright, it was something I wanted to see, man.
You had another article. Stop that.
Yeah. Yeah.
This one? That mine? Let's bring it.
Okay. Alright. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so this is saying China is making sanctions on Russia irrelevant. Right, scroll down. Right, it says China, it's like it says the invasion of Ukraine can now begin. China, from all appearances, has given Vladimir Putin the one thing he needs to defy Babylon the Great. And the international community, the Russian aerocrat looks like he has secured an economic lifeline from Beijing. Right, so basically those sanctions that they could put on them, they don't give a damn anymore, man. Because they had to sell their oil, right? But China, right, is purchasing all their oil. Right, click that second link that I sent in that same. This one right here. No, it's the same email. It should be.
Yeah, that's the second link.
Click the first one, slide. All right, scroll down. It basically tell you how much money it was. I had seen it. Yeah, it was like $187 billion. If you can trying to see if I can see it. Here it is. Right, it says China said bilateral trade with Russia reached $140 billion last year, more than double the amount in 2015. It's like right after the West hit Russia with penalties over its annexation of Crimea. Right, so basically the West tried to hit them with sanctions, and then China said, look, we got you, man, and kind of did more trade with them. And it was double that it was in 2015. So they actually waxing richer, man. Because Russia is that bear that's going to be reigning in the last days. Right, Russia's gonna take them out, man. And then Russia and its allies gonna try to attack Yahushua, and they're gonna get burnt the hell up.
And Russia, they pride, but that's Esau too, right? They keep trying to expand their territory. They annexed, what it say, Crimea.
Well, the Lord is putting that spirit on them. Right? That's in Ezekiel the 38th chapter.
Now he's preparing that war.
Hooks and jaws, man. So the Lord is mustering the host of the battle.
So this is the things that we running into. Now I had one more link. I think I sent it. On that first link that I sent, pull that up.
I want to play an video too.
All right, kind. Ukraine tensions. Right, this from BBC. Russia invasion. Slovakia. Damn ass.
Just came in, yeah. 30 minutes ago. It just happened.
Right, it says Russian invasion could begin any day, U.S. warns. Scroll down.
You look sad.
It says in the...
Very good. I like that, man. All praises, man.
Come here, show.
You like, I know what's about to happen, man.
Look at him. Finished, man. America don't want it with Russia.
Hopeless, man.
I said one. All the problems should be brought up.
Right, so this Russia, I want to show they basically wanted them to get out of there within 48 hours. I might not have sent that. But check it out, it says Moscow has repeatedly denied any plans to invade Ukraine despite massing more than 100,000 troops near the border, man. So they got almost 100,000 men ready for war, man. Right, so all hell from the break loose.
Real quick, they don't got these men out there for naught, man. We're not about to send 100,000 troopers just to damn play hopscotch, man. They about to go to war. Straight up and down.
And that's why it says at the top, Russia could invade Ukraine at any time, and American citizens should leave immediately.
Yeah.
The U.S. has warned. And that's along with other countries as well. They saying get the hell out of Ukraine.
Yeah, they say cold black. You know, you in your risk. Basically, you in risk for your life right now if you still in Ukraine. Because it's about to go down, man. So Russia not just moving military tanks and weapons closer to Ukraine for nothing, man.
Russia finna make a move, man, Lord willing. Right? Check that out. They right on the edge, man. Not playing no games, man. You see that? They right there, man.
They just waiting for the red button, man. They just waiting for the say so.
And Russian troops, they ain't like American troops, man.
No,
They move in a different spirit. They ready. They kind of Russell Bears. They ready to war.
They ready.
They ain't going back. I sent that to the in the email.
Yeah, bring out the train. Bring out the not the train, the military tanks.
So like I seen a Russian troop in all gear in his front row on the video. Russian troop.
Shemai.
Try that one, kid. Let's see if that's it. There we go. Scroll down a little.
So we got some soldiers right there. They're kind of ready. You know, they smiling, but they ain't about to be, smiling for too long.
Yeah, they get them ready, man.
These Russian troopers.
God, now you trying to exit Babakshar? We're gonna read the top part.
Hey, man.
Tension is rising between Russia and Ukraine. Situational update, political and military attacks. See that? All right, so they're literally getting ready. That was today. That was today. There's one more in the emails.
Then I got one.
God.
Close it out, man.
We got it. Is that one? Yeah. We're only gonna play half of it.
Lucas Tomlinson is on the ground in Kyiv with the very latest there. Lucas, what is the mood on the ground right now?
Good evening, Anita. The mood on the ground here is one of calm, but as you just heard from David, a far different story back in Washington at the Pentagon. U.S. officials say the Russian invasion of Ukraine could begin as soon as Wednesday, and that's why the U.S. Embassy here in Ukraine has ordered its staff to leave, going down to the bare minimum. Now, Ukrainian citizens are training very hard. What they say, they need to master guerrilla warfare.
Most of all, I'm worried about my children. Yes, I want they live in a democratic European country.
Ukrainian citizens and mothers like Valentina learning weapons training as well and how to launch an insurgency if Russian forces show up to this capital city of 3 million. President Biden has ordered 3,000 additional paratroopers from the 82nd Airborne Division based in Fort Bragg to Poland. Other troops are headed to Romania. While the U.S. military is bolstering forces in NATO countries bordering Ukraine, it's pulling the small number already here. Today, the Pentagon said all 160 members of the Florida National Guard would be evacuating Ukraine immediately. They have been training local forces. Some military experts believe the most likely point for Russia to invade is from the sea, from warships like this, attacking what they call Ukraine's vulnerable coastline. The former head of U.S. Army Europe said he thinks this is how this thing starts.
I gotta understand what we just saw. The citizens is training for guerrilla warfare, dragging and doing simulations, man, with the fake guns, man.
They're not doing this in America.
Yeah, America's not ready at all.
They're not doing this for nothing. That's the point.
Nah, they even said America pulled its forces from Ukraine. They already know something's gonna pop off, and they don't want to be there when it pops off. They're moving them into the NATO countries. They evacuated. They not even there no more, right? So that's what they was talking about.
That's right.
It's a little bit more.
See that?
To create havoc and confuse us, but I just don't think they have the capability to capture Kyiv.
Pentagon officials think Russia is launching a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. As I mentioned, it could come as soon as Wednesday. You asked about the mood, Anita. The mood here is very calm. I was out for a stroll earlier today, and last night you see Ukrainian citizens living their lives. The restaurants were packed last night. I saw a gentleman who said, are you ready for a possible invasion? He said, bring it on. I've got guns in the safe. Of course, he does not have short-range ballistic missiles at home. I also saw a Ukrainian couple getting married. They seem pretty happy.
See, that's the scriptures, man. People drinking, making married. People are literally giving it to marriage, man.
And they finna get you invaded, man, by Russia, the top army, man. That's a top military army surrounding you, ready to blow you to hell, and they still getting married and having a good time.
And real quick, go to what Putin said. What Putin said if Russia invades Ukraine, he said it would be a heavy price to pay. Yeah. Go to YouTube.
It's on YouTube. Go to YouTube, okay? Brothers gotta pay attention. This is serious stuff, man. Brothers shouldn't be snickering in the background, man. This is World War III, man.
Russia will have a heavy price to pay.
This is real right here,
I think
man.
Biden said that. Well, he said something along the same lines.
Oh yeah, Biden, Slovakia.
Yeah, I would say that don't really make sense.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why would he say it?
Right.
And Biden just talking, man.
He don't even know how to talk.
He reading cue cards.
There you go, right.
Check this guy out, man.
People with ADHD
Dirty,
spend 10
sloppy
hours
Joe.
studying with this Chrome extension. But no, by all means.
Based on everything you know now, do you think that President Putin will authorize an invasion of Ukraine before the end of the winter? And what is your message to the roughly 30,000 Americans who are currently in Ukraine? Do you think that they should leave the country?
I don't know that he's even made it. I don't know that he knows what he's going to do. And I think he has to realize that it would be a gigantic mistake for him to move on Ukraine. The impact on Europe and the rest of the world would be devastating, and he would pay a heavy price. I have been very, very straightforward and blunt with President Putin, both on the phone and in person. We will impose the most severe sanctions that have ever been imposed, economic sanctions.
Slovakia, we just read, they don't give a damn about them sanctions, man.
There's war right here.
Right, China, who needs America, man? America's finished, man. Nobody needs America. They still acting like they the big guy on the block, man. Y'all low level, man. China's out here.
Before pride comes destruction, man.
Yeah. Wickedness, still talking like America the big and bad. Man, y'all just had Trump in office. America's a laughing stock, man. Nobody cares about this, man.
Gotta keep playing.
For that down the road. It will affect others as well. It will affect us somewhat. It will affect Europeans, but it will have profound impact on his economy. And But I don't know. I know that he's in a position now to be able to invade, almost assuming that the ground is frozen above Kyiv. He has the capacity to do that. What he's going to do, I don't know. And I don't think anybody knows but him.
To the Americans who are currently in Ukraine, should they be?
So he talking tough. He said, look, you're going to pay your price. Don't you do that, man. It's going to be war.
You talking about sanctions. That's all they saying they're going to do is get heavy sanctions.
The country?
I think it'd be wise to leave the country. I'm not talking about our diplomatic corps. I'm talking about Americans who are there. I hate to see them get caught in a crossfire if in fact they did invade. And there's no need for that. And if I were they, if I had anyone there, I'd say leave.
Yeah. He said, get up out of there, man. It's going to be crossfire.
Look at Putin.
Right?
Look at Putin.
So
Who don't give a damn, man?
Right. So all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Mashiach Malak Yahushua. That's World War III in the scriptures, man. And it's coming to pass. Repent. Get yourself together in these last days.
That's right.
That's right.
All right.
Where Miss Rose? Come here, son. Where Miss Rose? Come here, son.